And when we create from that directly is actually when we will create the enlightened society that we all truly desire to experience.
The specific purpose of that video was to talk about reality creation and how reality creation actually works. For anybody who might have missed that or missed the video altogether, can you kind of break it down for us?
I want to let you know that I'm going to be teaching a brand new live course coming up very soon, Master the Mystic Arts. I'm going to be sharing the secret protocols and exercises I used with myself to fully unlock my higher intuitive functionality. It is by application only. So sign up on the link below and you'll be notified. Yeah, the entire real thrust of what I was talking about is to be a creator rather than a consumer. And rather than disempowering ourselves by putting our attention and allowing, whether it's religious figures or politicians or extraterrestrials, to disempower us and put them in a position of power. And so the message is about self-empowerment and liberation. And what you put your attention on grows. So the basic fundamentals, and there's a lot more to it, but whatever you put your attention on, your attention is energy. And where your attention goes, your energy flows. And whatever your attention is on will grow. And so by having our attention outwardly focused on information of any kind is actually disempowering. So what starts to happen is we're giving our creative powers away by being a consumer of information. Meanwhile, the I am is whole and complete. No one needs information. No one needs to reach out. No one actually needs guidance from a religious figure, from a politician, from an extraterrestrial. We were all built whole and complete. And it's about working with ourselves in that way. If we all desire our reality that is built upon love and wisdom and compassion and knowledge, we have to first cultivate these things within ourselves. And that is the only way that is going to go, the only way that is actually going to happen. So by putting our attention outwardly on any of those things, especially when it's couched with fear, beware, chaos, madness, we are creating that by putting our attention on it, no matter how much it is justified. We are putting our attention on that. We are creating that experience for ourselves. And this is part of the whole message, to empower ourselves, to liberate ourselves from those things, and to empower ourselves. And everything I embody and share is all about that. How to become self-realized and then create from that inner perfection, rather than reaching out, which is disempowerment, and then giving power over to examples, religious figures, politicians, or extraterrestrials. The body was not designed to have itself be led by the conditioned mind. The body was perfectly designed for it to take instruction from the I am, or the causal body. And when we operate as a consumer rather than a creator and an emanation coming from us and outwardly, this is actually how we get disharmony. This is how we get fear. This is also, to take it further, how we get a dystopian timeline, by taking in information that is fear-based, no matter how it's justified, putting our attention on it. We then resonate with that, and we emanate that frequency based upon a heightened state of emotionality, and we literally create it. Now, I'm not sure if this is news or this is basics, but either way, what you put your attention on grows. So my suggestion in terms of full empowerment and liberation is to put the attention on, within, as, for, and by the self, and let the self unfold. And when we create from that directly is actually when we will create the enlightened society that we all truly desire to experience.
I think the other piece to this, RJ, is obviously the collective nature of it. So we all think about how we consume or how we create as individuals, but collectively it becomes even more powerful, right? Whenever everyone's kind of following suit.
Yeah, exactly. So the more people, and this is the whole idea, Justin, behind the global meditations that we started doing. So when there's a large number of people, right, with the same desire and intention, there's a massive amplification of energy. And this is part of reality creation. So when we work with ourselves optimally, and it's coming from within, and we're creating from within, from the wholeness, from the completeness of the I am, of the divinity, of the fractal of God. This is actually how we're going to create the enlightened society. So this is the idea behind the global meditations. And it works in the opposite way too. So if a large number of people are putting their attention on fear-based messages, despite the fact that in there are nuggets of truth or kernels of truth wrapped around and packaged through fear, through end times, through chaos, through madness, through destruction, we are actually building that. And so this is what, and because there's so many people actually putting their attention on there, this is actually how we usher in a reality that we don't really desire, because we're in a reactionary state, consuming information with our attention upon it. You cannot create something other than what your attention is upon. Try creating something other than what your attention is upon. So when your attention is upon those things, that is actually what you're creating. And the insidious nature of this is actually, that's the entire design by the whole thing.
Absolutely. I think we all would like to see change and create change. I think the beautiful thing is for anybody who tuned into that last interview, for anybody who's tuning into this one, for anybody who jumps on the meditations, like, you're literally creating change. We are changing, we're creating ripples, right, RJ? Within, by putting this out there and letting people know how creation is done, now we can be mindful in the way that we create. Wouldn't you say so?
That is the entire message. That is the entire point. That is everything that I talk about, everything I embody, everything that I teach is about the detachment, gives you discernment, and then we create from within. We make the outside world a reflection of the perfection and the divinity of the I am. And we must be a creator rather than a consumer. And so, again, putting attention outwardly on anyone or anything, any ideology, any belief, any concept, any religious figure, any politician, any extraterrestrial, we're not working with ourselves optimally and properly. The key is to go within, put the attention on within, as for and by the self. And then what is it that unfolds? Because we're putting our attention, our energy on it, the self unfolds. And that's reality creation 101. So if we reverse it, instead of outward and consuming, and work with being present and letting the self unfold, the higher timeline or the higher frequency or the ascension, that's really the key. And this is actually the shift that everyone is talking about. It's this: stop reaching out and stop consuming and touch the truth, which is that you are an immortal creative being. And when we work optimally and properly, the outside world's going to reflect that.
RJ, I didn't understand how reality was created beforehand. And when we don't understand it, are we basically creating our reality by default then at that point?
Yeah, because so again, it's consumer creator. So what's happening is the reactionary mind, the finite mind, the intellect is taking in information. And what your attention is on, right? Your attention is energy. So that information that is growing. So that fear-based or concepts or ideologies or whatever it is actually now informing. We are not expanding. It's actually the opposite. We are consuming. And so we have to reverse this. This is what all the I am discourses and teachings and true ancient wisdom works in this way. And so we have to be mindful about disempowering ourselves, even though it might be couched in this is great information from whomever. The answers lie within. And really the truth of the matter is there aren't even any questions. The I am is whole and complete. And it's simply about tapping into that and letting it unfold. And that's really reality creation. Otherwise, we're consuming and we're creating something that doesn't come from us. So then who does that serve? What is that really about? Why are we doing that? Why do we think we even need to reach outside of ourselves? And so when we start to work with ourselves in this way, detachment, discernment, the inner guidance system is on, truth will resonate, and we'll realize that we create our reality individually and collectively. And this is really the turning point. This is why I'm saying these things. This is the turning point for humanity. When we start working with ourselves in this way, we really will create the inner and outer reality that we truly desire. But we must stop putting our attention outwardly and consuming. That's the real shift, and that's the key.
I think this goes to show how important sharing this message is. And we appreciate everybody who shares these videos, obviously, because making other people aware of this. I think if when we come from this body consciousness, right, RJ, we think that we have no power and we don't realize how powerful we are as creators. But when, you explain how powerful we are, it just makes a lot of sense into how we're the ones that bring it about. We're not the ones witnessing what's going to happen. We can actually create it, right?
Yeah, we're sitting back in a passive reactionary state, asking what's going to happen to us. Think about that. That is the complete polar opposite of what is. We are immortal creator beings. Why would we sit back passively and ask what's going to happen to us? It's just the opposite. We create our reality, and we are creating by putting attention outward and giving authority to, again, a concept, a belief, a religious figure, a politician, an extraterrestrial. This is the opposite of what is. The opposite of what is. And this is how we create an inner world and an outer world that is not germane to who and what we really are. And it's just this simple switch. It's a simple switch from consumer to creator. If you are unaware, I lead a global meditation where all of us come together with a single pointedness of focus by harnessing our attention and intention, which is a massive amplification of our energy, which yields greater efficacy in terms of what it is that we desire to manifest. If you want to help change the world, literally, sign up on the link below because we're going to be doing another one very soon.